Hello and welcome to this week's Mystic Message. This week's message has got me really giddy. I love messages like this. To start, so clearly, it's go time. It's fucking go time. It is time to move. It is time to embody. It is time to show up. It is time to be seen. It is time to be heard. This is a period that I think we've all been waiting for and doing a lot of this shadow work to get to this place, to get to this point where we're not just doing the meditation or the past life work or the inner child work. We're ready to embody it. We're ready to be in it. And the beautiful thing is, collectively, so many of us have healed this. This is specific to a very specific area. So just keep tune in, keep it going here, because whether or not you specifically have done a ton of healing in this specific area, enough people have that has rippled to many of us. And so this is very much around the suppression of the divine feminine. The cast into the shadows of the dark divine feminine. So briefly, for those of you who have not heard me talk about this for hours on end, the divine feminine energy is we have our light side and the dark side. Dark is not bad. They're just different kind of energies. The light side is really the very soft, nurturing, loving, compassionate, empathetic, the archetype of the light divine feminine feels very much like the mother archetype, the caretaker, the space holder within the home, within the children and the community and the family. It's soft and it's nurturing. And the dark divine feminine really speaks to the more powerful side of the divine feminine. It's more of the magic. It's more of the empowerment. It's the leadership role of the divine feminine. It's the magic, the oracle, the seer, the healer, the wise woman, right? The medicine woman, that kind of archetype. And that has been cast into the shadows. No surprise, right? We all know this story, kind of this patriarchal creation where, just like everything else in our world, we took opposing energies, just like we do light and dark, divine masculine, divine feminine, our politics, right? We take these left and right and these different opposing things, and instead of joining together and seeing the power that can be created when you take opposing energies and combine them, instead we pit them against each other, and it's this versus this. I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And it becomes this fight against each other instead of unifying and realizing that the true power comes from that unification of these kind of opposing energies. And so essentially that's kind of what a lot of this kind of matrix system and what our reality has been for so long, has been this, divine masculine versus divine feminine, male versus female. It's divine masculine and divine feminine are energies. We're not necessarily speaking to gender or sex. However, that does tend to be the correlation, right? And it's not untrue, as much as we both hold both energies. Oftentimes, historically, we think about our kind of traditional gender roles and just the innate kind of skill set that a woman tends to have, that natural kind of motherly, nurturing energy. And the male kind of has that protective provider energy. Doesn't mean it's always that way. Doesn't mean it has to be that way. Doesn't mean that it's one or the other. But that's where, if you take these opposing energies, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. The male might hold a lot of the divine feminine, and the woman might hold a lot of the divine masculine. It's these opposing energies. And instead of the divine masculine saying, I'm scared of the divine feminine because that's very fucking powerful and I'm threatened by it, so we're going to call it bad and we're going to cast it away. We're shifting from that, of these versus each other, which tends to feel very male versus female, but that's really just the surface level of it. And it's really just the bullshit kind of picture that wants to be painted when it has nothing to do with me as a woman versus a man. It's these energies. And so essentially we cast away, we deemed it bad, right? The witches, the healers, the intuitives, all of the women who were really in their power were deemed bad or wrong, and we cast it away. We have the narrative, the witch is bad, we burned him at the stake, all of these things, these persecution wounds. And so that has associated our magic and our power as a divine feminine with bad. And then we cast it into the darkness, and we also have this correlation that dark is bad, and that's just not the case. Our shadow is dark, shadow's not bad. So we're in this part of this whole awakening process, whatever you want to call it, ascension, awakening, I don't care what word you use. A big theme of it is this resurgence of the divine feminine. It's healing of these suppressed and cast out aspects of ourselves that have been cast into the darkness, healing that, bringing it back to bring this kind of whole part of the divine feminine back together. Bringing the light, bringing the dark side of the divine feminine together to create wholeness. And I think there can be confusion because there are people who I think about this as like a feminist experience, or almost like now the women are going to be in control, or we need women to overpower. We're not, like, that's still feeding into the polarity game, and that's not what this is about. This is about the balance. This is about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, both healing, both being in their highest expression, and then combining together. And that is where the real power lies. If you think about politics as a mirror for this, I think a lot of people, if you're not on a far extreme side, a lot of people, can agree. If we all just stopped thinking of each other as the problem and joined together and saw what the problem really is, which is the systems and the higher ups, the 1%, power is in unification. That is where the power is, and not in this polarity game of one versus the other. And so the divine masculine and divine feminine theme is that. It's not, let's knock the masculine down a peg and let's rise up. It's, no, let's rise up as a divine feminine and let the masculine also heal and you come into their highest expression, because we need both. They're both so important, and let them stand side by side. No one's in front or behind or on a higher pedestal. It's balance and it's unification. So that is the theme, and that went way longer than I needed it to. But this is a subject that comes up often and I love to talk about. And so when I say this is go time, I'm speaking a lot to the divine feminine, but we will bring in the divine masculine. So if you're a man watching this, there is a lot for you here. Or if you have a man in your life and you want to share this information or kind of see how this is playing out for them, this is about everybody. But this initial kind of it's go time feeling, it's time to move, it's time to embody, is about this dark divine feminine. And it's that sensual, right? The sexual, sensual. Think of that, the serpent, right? We religion has demonized the serpent. The serpent represents the dark divine feminine. Do we think that that's a, coincidence? No, we've been programmed to think of the dark divine feminine as bad or evil or scary or whatever. And the truth is that is the power of the divine feminine. And so that's what we're bringing in. We're bringing this sensual nature. It is time to wear her. It's time to embody her. Her being the aspect of you that is this dark divine feminine archetype. You have past lives as this. You have parts of you from this lifetime that you've cast away, whether programmed or societally or, forcefully, whether it was, you had a moment in someone, you were free and you were in your body and you dressed a certain way or you moved a certain way and other people didn't like it and they called you names. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to dress differently or I'm going to move through the world differently. That was the suppression of that dark divine feminine, or refusing to or feeling scared to embody your power, be your magical self, right? Do the thing. It's time to embody her. She is fierce. It is this wild woman energy. It is the I give no shits, I give no fucks. Sorry if you don't like swears. This is probably not the space for you, but I can't get the message across without that because it is so potent and powerful. It is a call to release that poised good girl mask that you've been wearing. That maybe you've taken down and you've tried and maybe you don't feel safe, or we've been programmed to get validation when we're good, to get validation when we allow ourselves to be secondary to maybe a male figure. You know, we get validation to be this, just be the light. You're a mom, you're the nurturer. That's all you have to be. No, that is only part of that energy. That is only part of you. Bring in the other half. Be fucking unhinged. Go out in the forest and dance. Go take a belly dancing class. Go touch a snake and feel that like infusion of that like sensual energy. Let your hips move. Dance. This is a call to get up and dance. To dance like nobody's watching. To let your body guide you. Your body can remember. If you just give it permission, it wants to move and it wants to embody this I don't care what anyone else thinks energy. And so it's a call to become this, to be seen for and to embody it. And so you might think, I have not done any healing around this. I don't think I'm ready for that. This message is for everybody, whether or not you've done the healing. So if you've done the healing, congratulations. You've helped everybody who has not done the healing or has not done all of the healing. The ripple when we do healing stuff, if I'm healing XYZ wound, because we're all connected, that ripples to other people in this kind of web of connection who have that wound. So as your neighbor is healing, it's helping you. As your best friend is healing, it's helping you. As you're healing, it's helping your family members, it's helping your coworkers, it's helping people on the other side of the world. It's beautiful. And so she's ready. This aspect of you that's begging to come out of the shadows. She's just waiting for the permission slip. She's just waiting for you to say, it's okay. You can be seen. I see you. I'm ready to feel you. I'm ready to embody you. I'm ready to be whole. I'm when we have that feeling of we're not whole, it's because there's pieces of ourselves that are missing, and this is a huge part of it. And so this might manifest as like these kind of aspects of yourself from other lifetimes. You might notice some goddess energies showing up to work with you, to guide you. You might have a new spirit guide that is a goddess that kind of either is kind of in the middle, like that kind of balance between the light and the dark, or even a darker goddess, because the goddesses that within the darker side of, the spectrum that are not bad, they are also evolving and they are shifting into their highest expression of self. And everything within this dark realm that is the divine feminine is ready to be seen, is ready to come into the light. It doesn't mean that we're transmuting anything, because we don't need to transmute everything. Not everything is meant to be transmuted. We're meant to have different energies for different reasons. And when you combine them together, powerful, magical. It's that golden energy, which is that unconditional love and acceptance. Okay, so then we ask, what about the men? That was my question. Where does this show up? How does this play out for them? And again, you might be a man who does embody a lot of divine feminine energy, and all of us have both. None of us have like 100% of one and 0 of the other. And so let yourself just intuitively feel into it. You might be a man feeling like, I'm bringing my power back online. I'm feeling more magical. I'm feeling more intuitive. I'm feeling more embodied and sensual and maybe less of the programmed way, right? I think, if we think sensuality, we think it has to be sexual and it has to look a certain way because we've been programmed to think of it as a certain thing. And it can just be like a slight gentle touch. It can be the way you move, the way you walk, the way your posture is, your body language, right? And so whether you're a male or a female, you might be feeling these things and noticing these shifts. If you are a man or a woman who feels like you embody a lot of divine masculine energy, and that feels natural to you, not programmed, it feels natural, right? So for those of you who feel like the divine masculine is your role in this incarnation primarily, again, not to say we don't have balance, we still bring in both. but they have the same fractals. So if you're a man, you've probably had a lifetime as a woman and have had these wounds. So these wounds that we're talking about, these fractals that are missing that I'm speaking about, that feels like it's geared towards women, it's not just women, it's men too. So those fractals are coming back, and you are going to feel that shift. And so it's a call to, again, continue this healing work, but don't, I think we get confused sometimes and think we need to heal a certain amount before I'm ready to like be seen for it. This is the message is, it doesn't matter where you are in this healing journey, that can keep happening and you can embody it right now. Okay? And the real power really shows up when, you know, the male energies here stand in support of the divine feminine. Where, you know, if you are, you know, a man or divine masculine, and you, instead of this like, you know, I need to be superior, or like, you know, maybe this view that like men are superior or men do need to make decisions, they should be the ones running things. You know, if you are the man who's like, no, like we should all be like equal and balanced, and we should speak to everyone's strengths, and women should be in power. And I don't just mean government and politically, I mean, you know, societally and socially, and like we need to like hold the space for these women to be seen for their magic. And the more that the divine masculine stands in support of this new resurgence of the divine feminine and then bands together, that is what this whole new reality is being built on. That is, the more of that is taking place, the higher likelihood we're shifting down to this better timeline that I think we collectively all really want, of equality and love and this unison and this togetherness. And when we have that kind of banding together and that like linking arm in arm, and it's not just men versus women or feminine versus masculine or light versus dark or left versus right, everyone wins. These divine masculine energies, they're going to be activated. And so their power, whatever that looks like for them, their purpose, their power, their, you know, role is going to be activated. And it's going to release the toxicity around the programming. One of the biggest struggles for men is this programming that you have to be the caretaker, you have to support, you have to be the breadwinner, like everything's on your shoulders, you have to take care of everything. Like the pressure put on men that creates toxic masculinity is getting released. And so we can release a lot of that toxic masculine energy and let the divine masculine really step into their power. And then everyone's elevating, right? This is as much as we talk a lot about the divine feminine, the divine masculine is just as important. It's just their wounds look differently. But when we all comes together and all the programming on both sides releases from everybody, because women also have a lot of toxic masculinity. I do. You know, I've had a lot of those traits. When we release that and all step into the highest expressions and then come together, explosion of like higher energy. That is that like 5D energy that we're all talking about. It's that new world. It's this ascended, expanded consciousness reality. And it shifts things from this power struggle of one versus the other, which is external, right? Where it can manifest as like me versus you, me as a woman versus you as a man, me as a divine feminine versus you as a divine masculine, me as a divine masculine versus you as a divine feminine. But it's also an internal power struggle. So this power struggle, all the things that happen externally in our reality are mirrors for what's happening internally too. So whenever we're talking about external things, there's always a component of that that's happening internally. So this power struggle that feels very external is also internal within us. It's our own power struggle between our masculine and feminine, when each should show up. And, you know, is this one operating from a toxic place, or is this one operating from a toxic place? And we're letting go of all of that and letting everything just really rise up. And then we can unite it, and it can be this unison of balance and acceptance and seeing everything for its highest expression and strengths, and it releases that polarity game. And the power struggle is very subconscious and exhausting, and there's going to be a resurgence of energy like this. I'm so tired and I've been feeling tired for 5 years. There will come an end, and a lot of this power struggle is a lot of that, and it's internal, it's external, and it's programmed, it's part of the earth, it's part of the matrix, it's part of everything. It's huge. And so when this shift, this is the beginning of really stepping into this, because right now it's been very, very internal. It hasn't been quite as external. It hasn't been quite as involving other people on a big scale. Now it is. Now we're being seen for it. Now, like, go be your bad self, right? Like, go wear what you want, go act how you want, go stand and be poised and move through this world what feels natural. Ask your hips what the fuck they want from you, because they are asking to be seen, to be heard, and to move. Right? This is very sacral energy. A lot of this, all of it is sacral. And so where's your sacral? It's down in that lower abdomen. It's around that womb space. It's near the hips and that lower belly. It's, yeah, go dance. Give yourself permission to be unhinged, be wild, be authentic. Figure out what that authentic expression of the combination of those divine feminine energies looks like. And it's going to be amazing. All right. Bye.